Hey, yo.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's Defeds Day.
It was raining.
The Feds. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to get what? I saw the wind chill on Saturday night, minus 22.
It's going to be?
Yeah.
Ooh.
This crazy guy I know was telling me that this is because of El Nino
La
in
Nina.
Alaska. La Nina. Is
I
there,
don't know.
is there
I
anything
have no
to
idea.
that? Dislodged the cold air in Alaska, and it's coming to us. It feels like he's got a point, man, because this has been one of the nastiest winters we've had in a while.
It's one of the best Chris Farley skits of all time. El Nino is Spanish for the Nino. Speaking of dislodging, cold weather, all of these problems here, Tony, you had a post the other day about unloading a couple properties for over list price, which seems to be against the trend from everything I've read.
Yeah, no. So, and actually, the reason I made that post is I was out on Friday night. I had 2 listings that I just activated Thursday morning and ran into the second set of people in the same week that told me that the real estate market was bad or it was a bad time to sell. And then one was telling me that for her son, it was a really bad time to buy and he should just wait.
Oh, wow.
So Thursday morning, 2 properties on the market, diametrically opposed, radically different markets. Because people, when you have success, want to say, well, they want to justify it. Well, that was that property, that was this location, that was that town, and all that stuff's nonsense. Because every town, whether it's Beverly Hills or Harvey, Illinois, has a price point at which things sell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Cherville, Indiana and Hazel Crest, Illinois, less than 72 hours, both properties, multiple offers, and over list price.
How'd you do it, Tone?
Priced correctly. However, remember 4 years ago when people were saying, I'm not paying over list when the market was really hot?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not doing this at a nice. This guy the guy in Hazel Crest bought in end of 2021. So we're coming on 2022. And he's realized over a 19% gain.
Dang.
He was 19% over what he was at. That was our list price, was 19% over what he paid just a few years ago. And if we settle in on what we're closing at, it'll be near like 24.
Dude, that's cool.
Yes.
In Hazel Crest.
Yes.
Yeah. The one in Cherville, I figure, is likely near the same. So, people, one of the things that we saw, and I have to go into Brian Buffini, a mentor that I listened to, was on one of his coaching calls last week, is that young people, they're seeing this phenomenon largely amongst young men, where they're trying to wait to purchase a house until they like knock it out of the park with like a big one.
Oh.
Get like something to impress their friends. So they just hold off and never do it.
Huh.
Right.
Okay.
So what this proves, Cherville and Hazel Crest, 2 dramatically different towns, is that both people made like more than 20% on their money in just a few years.
Wow.
All right. So settling for a different product, just getting your foot in the door, regardless of what it is, can really pay off.
Cool.
All right. And you did that. We had the weather during those days. People don't want to sell houses around the holidays or it's cold. People don't want to buy houses around then. Then we had like an average temperature of about 30 degrees in that span.
How many inches of snow?
Yeah, we had every weather situation that would maybe deter a Midwestern buyer from wanting to buy. Yeah, price cures all objections, right? Priced right, the property still moves. So what is going on with this unmotivated seller, or I always see these in the listing descriptions, motivated seller in all caps with three asterisks next to it. If you're selling your house, you've already signed a bunch of paperwork.
You're inherently motivated.
You took a bunch of
motivated.
You had a bunch of pictures.
Motivated seller is code for the listing agent is weak and wasn't able to properly articulate the market data to the seller so that they made a decision on price that would cause it to sell. In other words, it's listing speak for we're overpriced. Even the seller knows it now. He'll take whatever. The seller won't take their advice to move the price to where it needs to be.
But if you put an offer in,
but hey, like we get it. We're not at list price, which I think is crazy. We set our sellers up for 2 things, right? The sellers always think about number 1, which is price. Yeah, everybody thinks about price. You don't need price. You do, but you need price and control. Price without control in the deal will erode the price from the deal within the deal.
Yeah.
All right.
You have no leverage for anything.
So when we start out that we're not giving you what you're asking for, we've sent a mental precedent, all right, that we know we can push you.
Yeah.
All right. When we know we can push you, when something comes up on an inspection, we're writing our response. How strong are we going to write it? If we knew that the guy was solid, right? Maybe we don't want to push too far. We don't want to run a risk and getting ourselves kicked out of this deal. Well, we know you're soft already, right? And we know you're a motivated seller, right?
Yeah.
So why not slam you? All right. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to say no. You're going to kick it back to me as a buyer's agent. And I'm going to say, Sally, if this deal falls apart,
You're going to lose.
you're going to have to put it back on the market and show everybody that this transaction fails. And what happens to houses with failed transactions? What do people say when it comes back on the market? What's wrong with it? So maybe you want to have this conversation with your motivated seller. You don't want to be in this position.
You're going to run out of asterisks.
There's
Motivated
not really
seller,
too many
back
answers.
on market due to no fault of seller.
So there's not a lot of strong recoveries to respond to that.
There really isn't. It's
You're
part
like, you're right. Shit.
It's part of why when I coached agents, I used to do this at the real estate office during the recession, but a lot of other times. Most agents, in my opinion, don't do a great job on the front end vetting offers. All right. Because you don't understand the risk that we take. The only body obligated to a contract in Illinois or Indiana is the seller. Buyer can walk at any time. So we have to be smart. Once we obligate ourselves to it, one, we try to see if there's a way we can develop the upper hand, but we got to make sure there's a lot of good reasons why that guy should be able to close. Are they listening to us? Are they doing what we say? Do they have the right financing? Spend the time on the front end. That way we won't risk that failure. And today it's super duper important because pricing, their appreciation isn't there so much, right? There's less players in the market. You don't want to run the risk of having a failed transaction.
All right.
True that.
But people are still selling houses and buying houses in the not the dead of winter yet, but
absolutely multiple offers. Right now, so I had a conversation yesterday. Right now is a great building up the team time. All right. This is a great stacking, like in the gym time. And I mean like 2 weeks, 3 weeks we have here. All right. Because we have a big sell off into December. We usually have that. We saw that in most places. Some places have a little bit more inventory than last year. All right. But you know what's there? Maybe you're planning on buying a house next year, or maybe you're what we call a hangover buyer. All right. You were trying to buy something, you weren't able to get it. Inventory has really come down. We're going to have new inventory hitting the market right after the first. The people who took their house off the market, which was stupid because the Christmas and holidays are coming up. They're going to be coming back on the market. The people who something came up and they have to sell want to get in front of the inventory that's going to come in the spring. So they're going to be coming on the market. Today, you haven't had a huge pick in housing. So if you're looking for the right type of thing, which most people are, you've got to be poised and ready to go. So if we need to sell your house and have us come in, we need to know what it's worth so that we're ready when you find that right house. All right. We need to know what you're financing. And then you guys should be having pre-approval calls like mad right now.
Yeah.
We should. Should be. People, and I get it that they're not, but take the time now. I had the conversation last night. The people are well off. No, I shouldn't say well off. They're higher than median in terms of wealth, assets, and income in Lombard and looking to make a move to Frankfurt. All right. So I saw that they're making the mistake of like thinking they're good, just the right house will come on and we'll just do it. But none of those dominoes are set up. You're going to miss the house of your dreams. And in a market with less inventory, that could mean maybe you wait till 2027. Wait, what? Well, only 2 of these came up in the year, right?
Yep.
Maybe 3 come up next year. And if you're slow like you were here, what makes you think you're going to be fast enough to get it?
That's the as we've talked on repeat here, preparation, being poised, being ready, having conversations, and understanding that it doesn't cost anything to have a conversation.
Yeah,
a little bit of
people are gonna make money. Like I really feel like look at the long-term spectrum of property ownership. I can't believe people are putting their dreams on hold to sit on the sidelines like we're going to time the market. We're going to talk about the Fed's rate announcement today, right? The reason we're talking about it, look at the articles online, like Polymarket bets on it. Like it's a bet. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And something can
Well, one
happen.
person knows.
But we
but we can't
have-
talk about that ski trip.
But
again.
something could happen globally too that throws a crook in his plans. Okay. But we have 70 years of housing data that says real estate values generally go up.
Yeah.
Right.
Or sideways, but usually up.
And I just can't believe how many people are telling their young people or the people that are 60 years old that really want out of that house. You might die tomorrow. Like you want to live closer to your family or closer to your kids or whatever. I get it. It's expensive. Too bad. So is everything.
Yeah.
Everything is expensive. I think that's where it gets down to it, right? I shared with you guys an article about buy now, pay later stuff and $20 billion being spent on
That's just a firm thing.
digital layaway. Yeah.
How does that all work? How do they make money?
So the easiest way for them to make money, their general plan is the pay in four.
This is when I go online and it says, "Would you like to pay a credit card payment?"
This qualifies for a
or
no,
four
no,
payments. I'm like,
no,
four
no
payments,
interest
it was
for four payments.
$13.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is these companies that like Klarna and Affirm partner with Amazon, like all the big retailers.
Okay.
They go, okay, all right. So your basket or your cart was $100. All right.
Okay.
Affirm will buy that cart or Klarna will buy that cart for $94.
Okay.
So we're gonna send you guys $94, right? And they're gonna pick up the spread in that, right?
So Amazon's going, all right, we'll take the 94 now.
Exactly,
So-
but we're just gonna juice our price 6% to cover it.
Ooh.
So we need to come 5 payment program.
Yeah.
This is how we get rich.
5.
Well, all right. So
They
here,
do 4, we do 5.
Yeah.
so exactly. So hey, how about 3? Is anyone interested in 360 payments? I'll give it to you 360. You want this house? 360.
So how much has this business grown?
Almost infinitely.
Wow.
$20 billion is being spent on this between November 1st and December 30th.
Note to self.
Holy cow.
$20 billion. All right. So here's the crazy part. I did this analysis just to make it super easy. So if you have a $200 pair of Jordans,
Yeah.
and that's marked up $12 to cover this cart buy, right?
Yeah.
If you do and that's broken out over 4 payments, but it's no interest, the imputed interest rate on that, so the actual interest rate because you're paying more for the product,
$12.
is 18.25%.
Ooh, that's awesome. And it's probably a fast turn too.
Hold on. So if I don't use the Affirm, I'm still paying the inflated price?
Yeah. That's
That
because
seems like some BS.
it is. It's total bullshit.
That's a
Use Affirm.
That's affirmative. All right. But that's what it's creating is this run up in price. We see this every time that something is either subsidized or easily financed. It pushes price up. There's no such thing as a free lunch in this environment, right? Like, don't fall into that trap because all they're doing is just getting into your pocket. Like,
Yeah.
It's built in, like we were talking about how credit card fees are built into most everything.
yeah. And so now, right, the prices for a while were built, gas 3% for the credit card.
Yeah.
Now you're gassing another 6% for
And the restaurants probably price in the credit card fee and then charge you again for the credit card fee.
and for having 6 people at the table.
Yeah.
It's a real tough stuff.
I like the places that have the cash. If you want to pay with cash, it's $6 less.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's a real
Not we'll raise the price by $6 and then drop it for 6 for you.
But if you want to make 5 equal payments instead of 4, we'll
Sounds like I need to
talk
start
to our
doing
guy
that.
Tony.
So here come the bankers. Renault always told me, he's like, you move through these stages of business life, right? And he's like, eventually, when you've reached the fully maxed out stage in business life, you become the bank because the banks always win. So let's talk about the banks. The Fed chairman, Jerome Powell.
Powell?
Yeah, Jay, dude.
JP?
So he's got an announcement at 2 p.m.
That's 1
Or
Central, 1
our
Central,
time,
2
1
Eastern.
o'clock our time. And what's he going to say?
He's going to say that the Fed's going to lower the Fed funds rate by 0.25%. The federal funds rate, we did an episode on this a while back, all 3 of us, the Bank of Adam, the Bank of Tony, we're going to lend overnight. That doesn't necessarily have a major or an instant impact on your mortgage rate or a lot of other rates. But the idea there is loosening monetary policy. So banks and financial institutions are more incentivized to lend money and maybe run a little bit lean on their balance sheet overnight.
So there's more money out there in the market to get to purchase a house. Doesn't mean the rate's going to go down.
Well, not
In fact, the rate's
immediately
gonna go
either.
up.
So the banks, in a sense, will have slightly greater liquidity. They'll be willing to take a little bit more chance with their money, and get more money.
Well, they
out
can
on the
legally
street,
take more chance, right?
Yeah.
So another thing that it does though is when they move the Fed funds rate, is it pulls people's money out of savings just organically, right? Remember, like there was a time like when things spiked, right? You could get like 4% from a bank.
Yeah, on a
Like
money market.
right?
Yeah.
So when those things go away, people take their money out and put it into other things.
More risky
Okay.
things.
I mean, like Exonia, our bank has a money market that's actually tied to the Fed funds rate.
It's just
So,
right at it. Like,
Yep. So if it adjusts, your rate adjusts.
Yeah.
So that's again, it's incentivizing more money going into markets and not sitting in
and
savings.
out of savings.
Yeah. So
that's why they say,
Yeah.
when they reduce the rate, it spurs the economy.
Yeah.
Because banks are going to be, people are more likely to borrow, and people are more likely to take their money out of
Yeah.
the bank, invest in other things. How's it going to move the mortgage market? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh well, so this is actually a pretty interesting thing.
They're going to go up this weekend.
Well, that's usually what happens. So the last few Federal Reserve FOMC meetings, they announce the rate cut, and then Powell starts his press conference and starts talking, and the mortgage market just takes a crap.
Yeah. Float your rate locks.
So we're looking at exactly the new term is called flocking. All right, or the float boats out. But yeah, we're going to expect a little volatility here. This one's been a little interesting because we've actually had
a nice way of saying
we've had a little bit of
jammed.
we've had more volatility in the last 2 or 3 days leading up to the event. Normally this happens during the event and after, so maybe we'll see a little bit of change there. Powell's term's also up, so this will be his farewell tour.
From what I'm reading, I understand. So, Wall Street's already priced in a quarter point down today. What they're really looking at is they're looking at what he's going to say about labor
Future.
and future. However, his term ends in May.
Yes.
And there is much discussion about who would replace him. Trump has got some, in my opinion, some crazy ideas that I think would create ripples throughout the global economy that we don't want. But anyways, so I think, everybody that I'm reading is like, yeah, they're talking about like weighing everything. The markets are weighing everything on what he says after and what he says relative to labor.
Yep.
But then we're only going to have like a few months until we're like back debating like who's going to replace the guy.
Everyone, like, the major players are all in defensive position right now. No one's going to make a crazy wild bet knowing that a new person is going to be coming in to take that over without knowing who that person is. So I'd say defensive position. Yeah, we're going to parse the words every time I subscribe to a service. His press conference, they take his last speech and they just strike out words, add words, and see that he's moving maybe away from hawkish or away from neutral and into the term dovish, which means looser financial policy or monetary policy. So that's what we're looking for. Weirdly enough, too, we've talked about the 50-year mortgage a little bit. All of a sudden, in some bond trading in the last week, we've seen some 50-year credit swaps go out there. Will be interesting to see what that actually means. But a completely illiquid market all of a sudden has a touch of liquidity about it.
Interesting.
Anything else? Anything on the insurance side?
Nothing new. Still.
Remember, if your mortgage payment goes up, call your insurance agent.
If I get one more call,
because it's probably
My bank told
insurance
me.
and not your taxes that went up $5,000. It's probably
Don't worry about
insurance.
those taxes. Call your governor about those.
Governor.
All right.
Oh, so briefly, if you're in St. John, we are getting an amphitheater and a splash pad.
We are.
Yes, at 109th, which is 231, and the south end of White Oak. White Oak is the street that Midwest Ice Arena is on.
Oh, cool.
So we are getting like
Wow.
like a fairly nice amphitheater. And
I thought that was dire, but guess not.
It was, what is it called when you take it and bring it in?
Annexed.
We annexed that a while ago. So there you go.
All right, splash pad. Kids love those.
For all
Follow
your
back.
splashes.
All right. Anything else?
No,
All
peace
right,
out.
we're out.
Merry Christmas.
I'm done. Cut the show.